Hello, my biddies. How are you today? I know it's unusual. Said I wasn't gonna be on Fridays. I'm really not. This is just a redo from Wednesday because my mic wasn't on and I didn't feel like doing the whole thing over again after being on for 30 minutes. So, yeah, I screwed up. Sorry about that. It happens sometimes. Um, I'm not perfect. As much as people want to think I am, I'm not. So anyway, that's why we're here today. I was gonna put this off till next week, but I don't want to. 'Cause then it'll be really out of order. It's already out of order now. I don't like it. How are you? I'm okay. I'm good, actually. The weather's beautiful. I have all the windows open. There's a breeze. Apparently, it has to be 20 miles an hour to get a breeze in the house, at least on this side of the house. Um, yeah, it's a good day. It's a lovely day. Lovely day in the neighborhood. Slept good because it was cooler and not as humid. Um, and the next week and a half look really great. Looks to be the same. So I will hopefully be better. Hopefully I will be better. I hate my setup because it doesn't automatically go to the correct mic when I turn this on. Even if I set the correct mic the first time, it does not go back to it when I reopen it. So it's really annoying. So that's why I have mic problems sometimes. Um, Hopefully you won't hear the beeping from the neighbor's driveway getting repaved. I don't know what they're doing over there. It's just like beep, beep, beep all day long. Beep, beep, or pound, pound. So they're definitely getting a driveway poured. All the all the stuff is there for it. Um, what else? Nothing exciting going on. I forgot to buy actual dinner stuff. I went to the store, bought $140 worth of stuff, and I still didn't get dinner for the next 3 days. Oh, will just have to be taking me out this weekend. My husband will just have to take me out this weekend. That's all there is to it. um, I think I do have a couple. I have salad dinner, which we had last night too. We're gonna be salading it up. Um, I have some leftover stuff I could use, I guess. I don't really have buns though. I was gonna get hot dogs for the kids for Monday, and I forgot to do that. Went back to do it 3 times and still forgot. It was a bad day Wednesday, as you can tell. I'm surprised I didn't have a car accident again. I'll put it that way. Oh, what else? What else? What else? What else? Anything going on with you? My daughter's mad because I added somebody as a biddy on Snapchat. I'm like, he can block me if he wants to. I don't care. It's fine. He doesn't know how he's getting those notifications. Um, she, it's one of my son-in-law's coworkers. So Ryan, welcome. Oh, okay. I guess we'll jump into it. I do have a reality roundup. It is the Seven Little Johnstons. Season 17, episode 8. He's low key chopping down a tree. He was not low key chopping down a tree. He was very high key chopping down a tree. It was a big tree. So they start with introducing Layton to her dress. It's so weird. Like I've never seen anybody put this much time and effort into clothing for a 2-year-old. It's ridiculous. She has to warm up to the dress and shoes. Most kids, you just show them the outfit and they're fine. They coddle this baby like nothing. Amber says that Leighton doesn't wear dresses, but I feel like I rarely see her in anything else. So she can't say that. It's a lie. It's just a plain white dress. It looks like a communion dress, to be honest. It does not look like a dress for a flower girl. It looks like a communion dress, which is probably what it is. Not a communion dress. Yeah, like a communion dress, a plain white, slightly fancy, very plain dress. Uh, so what Liz is marking off all the stuff she has to think about. She says she has to think about school. Thought she had her degree. Then I remembered that she's going back again because she can't be a nurse apparently. There's speculation that she was never in nursing school. She was only taking CNA classes. So she might be a CNA, but she's not a nurse. She hasn't taken the test. She hasn't passed the test. She's not on the list. Georgia lists all their. You can look up any nurse in Georgia to see their license, and she's not on there. She is not on there. Next, Bryce is practicing his speech for rehearsal dinner. Jonah's giving him some pointers, and they have some people to help out. The people are cardboard cutouts of Liz, Amber, and Emma. And they are hilarious. I invite you, I encourage you to go watch at least that little segment. He says Amber has her whatever face on. Emma looks bad, like she's gonna throw down. Liz just has a blank stare. They're very representative of at least Amber and Liz. I don't think Emma's always mad. His speech is actually very nice. And he does a good job, and then he sillies it up a bit, which is fine. I think he should silly it up at the rehearsal dinner. He's very nervous about it because he's not a public speaker type person. Neither am I. No, you can't. Don't be surprised. Don't act so surprised. So Trent is going to cut down a large dead tree. He says he's experienced. He should be. He did landscaping and lawn care at the college for years. They show a flashback of the time they set the truck on fire when they tried to fell a tree at their old house. Yes, they set a truck on fire with Amber in it. Anna was very upset about it, and Amber basically ignored her. It was very hard to watch. This time the tree comes down fine. Unlike when my dad tried to avoid power lines. Tried to avoid a tree going in the road and fell on the power lines. All of a sudden he says, "Run!" So me and the dog took off, and it snapped, crackled, and popped on the way down. It was a lovely day. Lovely, sunny, nice day. With no breeze whatsoever. And the electric company gets there because, of course, he pulled the whole thing down. And he says, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I think the wind knocked it over. No, Dad, you're just bad at felling trees. He should have felled it the other, like, parallel to the road instead of perpendicular away from the road, which is what he did. Because the tree was between the power line and the road. Nobody's perfect all the time. Tree stuff happens. Sometimes they fall unpredictably, which I think can be avoided most of the time if you know what you're doing. So while cutting up the tree, Trent has an episode and says chest is tight. He informs us that he has not eaten and has had Amber's super strong coffee. He says that she gets about 4 pots out of a 10-pound bag. He wants a beer. Everybody says no beer. One of them, I can't remember who exactly, says, if you can't eat, you're not having beer. You can't be bothered to eat. You should have eaten something. Like, anytime you do physical labor like that, you should eat something first. Have breakfast, please. Because otherwise, your body is, like, overcompensating for being hungry while you're trying to do physical labor. Trent is worried about the amount of grass where the ceremony will be, because he's worried that it's going to get wet or something, and there's not going to be enough grass to um, keep everything from being muddy. Because if you don't have enough grass cover, it can get muddy really fast. Liz says she's done with wedding planning. And somebody says, you can't be done. We haven't had the wedding yet. Emma has decided to throw Liz a surprise bridal shower. They're etching a mirror for the greeting sign. It seems a bit much for a bridal shower, but okay, that's what you want to do. Emma's afraid she's going to slip up and ruin the surprise because she can't keep her mouth shut. Trent wants to get as much done as possible because Nana isn't doing well. She's no longer communicating at all, and that's not like her at all. Trent meets with his friend Rance. Rance plays little people competitive golf, and Trent has modified clubs for him because he's been playing with kids' clubs, and he calls it Baba Golf. Crazy because because it's a 5-year-old company, and he's only been a Baba for 2 years. Does that seem strange to you? Seems a little weird to me. They tell Liz that they want to meet her at the bridal shower and go over the last minute wedding details. The mirror is fine. Liz is surprised, and even Bryce kept the secret. When asked about the wedding colors, Liz says she's using greens, creams, the reds, and oranges and fall colors. The main color is brown, and she does not even mention that. Trent and Alex are at the nursing home with Nana, while everyone except, of course, Anna are hanging out at home waiting for her to pass. Amber gets a call from Trent, and he tells her his mom passed a few minutes ago, and all she has to say is she did. Like, are you surprised or are you just not caring, Amber? It's a weird reaction to me. I know when I got that call, because I have had that call. My mother-in-law passed away several years ago, and I went home with the kids, and my husband stayed because the room was tiny, tiny, and he's got 6 siblings. So, they don't need any more people than were already there. And some of the spouses couldn't leave because they had traveled farther than us, where we were only about an hour away. I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I will miss her," or something like that. I loved her. And then I cried because I did love her. Trent says he's not doing the eulogy. He's going to let one of his sisters do it. Liz has a speech already written, and in it, it comes out that Nana is a criminal. She used to movie hop at the cinema. She'd pay for one movie and go to one or two other ones. Trent says they all need to come together as a family, but I guess that doesn't include Anna, because she's family too, whether you like it or not, Trent. And that's where they ended it. So I don't know if they're going to show any of the funeral. I don't think they showed the other ones, which is fine. I mean, that should be private. They showed them planting flowers later for her hydrangea bushes. Okay. First. First, Reddit read. Losing my mind. First Reddit read is from Am I Overreacting? It is entitled AIO for breaking up with my girlfriend over a toilet plunger prank. Probably not. Pranks are dumb. Am I overreacting for why do you repeat yourself? Okay, this happened 2 hours ago and I'm fuming. Apparently TikTok, the toilet plunger prank has been trending. This is where you ask your partner for help with a dog toilet and you actually put Nutella, water, and fart spray on a plunger and fling it on your partner. My girlfriend decided to do that prank for me, and normally I can take a joke. After she flung the toilet plunger contents at me, including my mouth, I obviously died and went to hell, but she showed me the video. she was making. I was like, okay, it's a prank, fine, whatever. But then I asked her if she bought a new toilet plunger to do this prank, or if she at least washed it. But no, she took the regular wanging toilet plunger we had to do this. Y'all, I'm so mad right now. That's gross. So no, you're not. Okay, this is a weird prank anyway. I don't do poo. Sorry. I don't do bodily fluids well. I'm okay with blood, but puke and poo, no, thank you. Keep it away from me, please. She told me she's so sorry and everything. She forgot to buy a new toilet plunger for the prank, but WTF means I got wanging feces in my effing mouth. I'm so unbelievable angry. I told her I'm done with her, and now she's pissed at me. Am I overreacting? We live together, so it's not going to be easy to break up. Plus, telling all our friends and family we broke up because of a toilet plunger prank feels so childish. I feel so disrespected. You're not breaking up over toilet plunger prank. You're breaking up because your girlfriend does not care about your health. Top comment is from Alarm Speaker, and they say, I hate pranks. Daisy's answers, one time my brother painted camel on his face and wore ratty clothes and knocked on the door and chased me through the house with a chainsaw. I'm not even kidding. The blade was off, but when you're getting chased by someone wielding a chainsaw, you don't think, oh, surely the cutting part is off and this is a prank. And it's actually my brother dressed up. Also, those chains are sharp. They can still hurt you if they're not on. I locked myself in the bathroom, was halfway out the window when I heard him and my mom start cackling. To this day, I winging hate pranks that aren't lighthearted and innocent. Red Panda answers, pranks should not be confused with abuse. And then they have examples of pranks. Aqua Girl says, I freaking hate stupid pranks. I'll bail too. Blue Beans is the third top rated comment. She says, your girlfriend needs to grow the heck up, even with TikTok challenges and OR, not overreacting. Of Quo says, his ex-girlfriend for a good reason. Like, I would have kissed her right away. I kissed her, put that crap back in her mouth. See how she likes it. Next, we have entitled people. Entitled mom tries to tell me my son and daughter. Next, we have entitled people. Entitled mom tries to make me tell my son and daughter her son and his date are joining their limo ride to senior prom. A while back was senior prom for my daughter and son. Myself, my husband, parents of son's girlfriend, and mother of daughter's boyfriend all pitched in and rented the two couples a limo to bring them to prom. The four had plans to go together in the same limo, and we parents supported that idea. At school the week before prom, my son said at dinner that his former football teammate asked if he'd mind if my son shares a limo with him and his date because teammates help each other out. My son politely said that he already has a limo planned for himself along with his girlfriend, sister, and sister's boyfriend, and they don't plan on a big ride for a lot of people, and their ride is already covered just to take them. The former teammate then tells my son he needs to make room for him and his date, which again, my son says that's not going to fit our plans that we have already made. Man, entitled kid, I would say. Edit. 2 days later, in my morning cycling class at gym, I work for one of the people who attend the class, approaches me before class and says she's the mom of the teammate. My son declined to help. I know who she is from football season being at the games. I told her that my kids have already made their plans for their ride to prom and that it's already paid for the time they'll need the limo. The woman then says her son is a former teammate and that he deserves to ride with them. No, he doesn't. He was not included in these plans, ma'am. I told her son should have thought ahead and made better arrangements because nobody's going to change their plans last minute. As much as the woman tried pleading her son's entitlement, I just ignored her the way she acted. It's not that my son and daughter don't want to share the limo with anyone else, but their respective significant others. It's more that they're all close and want the experience to the four of them because they'll be going off to different colleges and want to make the best memories together that they can. And they did make prom memories with their other friends. As for the former teammate, I heard it got right by other means. Update. To address a few things, my son, daughter, and their respective significant others plan to go as a double date long in advance. So that was how I was able to work out with my husband and the other parents to book their private ride long in advance, as it wasn't a matter of the other senior's mom not getting to split the cost, nor was it about the other senior not asking if it could be a triple date. It was just a preference made in advance. Why do you have to explain that? I don't understand why that needs to be explained. That was very well understood during the initial post. Was that everyone, the three groups of parents pitched in to get a limo for their 4 kids. For people calling this post AI slop, haven't you ever heard of paragraph breaking? So it's not one run-on sentence. You're breaking the first and third rules of the subreddit. First is no complaints. Third is don't be an a-hole. Groovy Fire Chick is the top rate comment, says they're only doing this so they don't have to pay for a limo. Exactly. Atchison Metal answers, oh, surely the cost would be redivided, right? Even if this wasn't going to happen. And Groovy Fire Chick answers, they could have offered to give them money, but they didn't. At least it wasn't mentioned. Entitled people try and leech off of people. They do. That's true. Omega Outlier says, wait until you find out about liabilities. My princess of a sister conned someone into getting the group a limo, and someone's heel punctured the leather, among other little scruffs and scrapes that the limo operator was in no mood to let slide. They were probably not behaving well. That's probably why the limo driver was not happy. Enter crazy expensive cleaning / repair bill and the whole host of graduating class of 2000 ex-parents showing their full butt. No way in hell I'm going to let anyone not on the lease or related to those who are on in the limo. It's an invitation to misery. And Rose Sturmt says, insurance agent here can confirm. Left Still Guitar is a third top rate comment, and they say, wow, that's some sense of entitlement. A kid can still rent his own limo. Probably not. The limos are probably already taken at this point. Next is Murdered by Words and is entitled, Nothing Says Liberal Indoctrination Like a Catholic School. And this is from Macy Gunnell, and she says, proud to have survived 4 years of U.S. higher education's liberal indoctrination. Came out even more Republican than I entered. And she's standing, squatted down with her wrists on her knees. It's not a very attractive pose, to say the least. Jake says, yeah, I'm sure all female Catholic school in Indiana has an 81% acceptance rate, is just absolutely crawling with liberals. I wonder if I know where that's. I wonder if it's Notre Dame. Notre Dame might be a little bit liberal. They're a pretty big school. Florence Pug says they think any education is liberal indoctrination. That's true. Dick Slamington answers, America's going into a steep decline while countries like China take our place, and idiot conservatives are going to be crying like babies, not realizing they're responsible for our math science scores to plummet while other countries put even more focus into that area. Dazed and Confused says, of all the ways to announce you graduated. And Red Chair, Blue Chair says, answers, taking a dump on a field is one pose. Godel Esherbot says, this is the proper way to do it, though. You got to have something covering your naughty bits when you crap in public. Otherwise, you're just being rude. Faux Regard says, I paid 4 years of indoctrination to an institution. I paid for 4 years of tuition to an institution I call indoctrination and finished without learning a goddamn thing. Dave Blaze says, my parents paid for 4 years of tuition in an institution I call indoctrination and finished without learning a goddamn thing. I would not be proud of her if I was her parent. I mean, you're a Republican. You're more racist than when you went in? Next, we have the Balanced Rock, and it is a one-star review from Big Bend National Park. This is from Margaret in Houston. It says, "Dear Lord, say your prayers. We drove this in a Nissan Frontier 6 miles before we turned back and gave up. It jostled our truck so much the passenger mirror dislodged and was hanging by a prayer." So my take from this is don't buy a Nissan Frontier. Glad I was wearing a sports bra, LOL. If you don't turn, because we need to know about your underwear, lady. If you don't turn around before the first 3-3 miles, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. 33? Is it 33? Is it 3 to 4? Because you put 3 to 3. You have to use some excellent driving skills to try and turn around and go back. I think you're probably not supposed to turn around at that point. You didn't even know that once you get to the parking lot that you have to do some additional hiking. We thought we'd be able to see it from the car. Ma'am, you're in a national park, nothing is from the car. Best you're going to see from a car is a bison. Although I did see some cows from the car once. Next, we have Traumatizing Back, and it's entitled, "Yeah, She Did Die." A few years ago, I was at the bar by myself watching an Eagles game, as they do. The team was stressing me out. I jokingly said, "Please, for the love of God, win. I've already had such a crappy week." An only gentleman sitting 2 bar stools down from me turns and sarcastically says, "How bad could your week have been? Did you lose your job? Did a boyfriend break your heart? Did your dog die?" My response, "Yes, my dog did die on Friday." Unfortunately, that was a true statement, but the look on his face was priceless, and the drink chip also, well, priceless. I'm sorry about your puppy. That's sad. One time my husband came home from work, looked at me and says, "You look like your dog died." And I'm like, "She did." Because she did. My poor little puppy. I was not privileged to live with the dog anymore. We hadn't gotten a house yet. Living in an apartment. I was living with my dad at my grandma's house. I just spilled stuff on me, didn't know. Nice. Good job. It didn't. No, that's still wet. We'll go away. Ren Renee says, as a top right comment, says, "Sorry about your dog and you handled that great, but I hope he learned something." Hole in One says, "A simple, oh, what's wrong would have been better, assuming he cared." Just me lurking around says, "Nah, it's easy to overlook. Did a boy break your heart?" She says, "Nah, it's easy to overlook here, but OP is a woman, and we only have to open Reddit to know that females have everything and obviously never have any problems that could even compare to man's hard life. I mean, are they even people?" And then he puts a sarcasm thing because, I mean, I would have known by, I mean, are they even people, that it was sarcasm. Power Hot is the second top rated comment, and she says, "Similar situation in Michigan, Ohio State football game last November in Ann Arbor. I'm a alumna. Michigan had won 4 in a row, but as soon as it was clear OSU was going to win, a guy maybe 25 and his friends in the row above us saying all kinds of obnoxious stuff. I get it. It's a fierce rivalry and been around a long time. The dude on the end closest to me would not shut up and finally said something directly to me about how much this loss must sting. That was it for me. So I looked at him and said, in the scheme of things, it really doesn't, because I had to bury my mother yesterday," which was true. He didn't say another word to the rest of the game except try to apologize. I ignored him. People really should keep their mouths shut about stupid sports. We had a guy, we had roommates. My husband and I had a roommate when we first got married, and he was a big sports nut. And he was watching sports one day and goes, he's mad because his team's losing. And we're like, my husband's like, "In the bigger scheme of things, does it really matter?" And he's like, Well, if they win this game, blah, 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 blah. It's like, way to miss the point, Mr. Pastor. Like, people take sports way too seriously. It doesn't matter. It's not that big a deal. I mean, I love the Olympics, and I root for the US, but sometimes they deserve to lose, and sometimes people do amazing things that aren't from your team, and you should be able to appreciate that. Unkindly Bread answers, "Go blue. Sorry for your loss." Yeah, that's heartbreaking, losing your mom. Third top right comment, it's coffee beans. And says, I had a similar thing at driving class. People were noticing I wasn't able to concentrate. So I said, yeah, sorry. I wouldn't, I wouldn't like to talk about it, but I had a terrible day. And the dude thinks it's seriously comforting me. He said, oh, it could be worse, which is unfortunately a very common phrase in my country and not comforting at all, which is wrong. What is wrong with people? I my, suddenly my composure is broken. I burst out crying and trauma dumped. My mom had just been diagnosed with cancer. We had 10 cancer deaths in as many years in my family. Every single family member with a diagnosis died of it. I didn't have a cancer-free year that I could remember because I was 2 to 3 last time no one had cancer. I told them that I'd be winging preferred to have cancer myself instead of mom. That I was terrified for her life and the class had to be interrupted because everyone was shocked and I needed to calm down. Sometimes when people say they don't want to talk about it, they really mean it because they're hanging on to their composure by a thread. And it could always be worse as winging bullcrap because there's no comparing misery. Yeah, don't scapegoat your sadness. Don't scapegoat sadness. You can be sad that you lost a book, and you can be sad that your mom died. Are none of us allowed to be sad just because somewhere there's an HIV positive child with cancer who's also starving, lives in a war zone, and got hit by an earthquake? Yeah, exactly. Or you could have lost your book, your favorite book. The people who say that BS would probably say the same to that hypothetical child. Hey, it could always be worse. You could have broken your leg during the earthquake. Ugh. My mom pulled through, by the way, but F that guy. Yeti After Dark says the a-holes who talk about HIV plus kids in Somalia very often do not give a wang about HIV or Somalia or even kids. It's a deflection to negate whatever's in front of them as unimportant while clinging to a stereotype less reference, which they hope will derail the person in front of them who likely needs help. They get to dismiss it in their own mind and hopefully that make the sad, stressed, scared person stop talking. They're also very likely to make a loud noise about themselves when they worked hard, but X and Y is unfair to them personally. Wang that guy. I'm glad your mom pulled through. I'm glad her mom pulled through too. Edit. This is an ineffective strategy, but I do enjoy switching over to whatever their derailment was. HIV rates in African kids, of course. Let's talk about it. Here's some stats. What? You don't even care about this either? Strange. Esau quotes quotes the thing about the HIV positive Somali kids. Scenes we'd like to see. Parent, did you touch your food? Child, I don't like it. Parent, eat it. There are starving kids in Africa. Would you thrilled to have it with them? Child, send it to them next day. Child, why is my plate empty? Parent said, you don't like what I made. I decided to do what you want and send your portions to starving kids in Africa. No, we don't want to see that. No, we don't want to see that. That's terrible. When we were kids, it was India. And one day my husband was talking to his Indian coworker who grew up in India in a privileged family. He asked her one day, I don't know how it came up, but he asked her one day, so did your mom and dad complain about you not eating your food by telling you that kids in India were starving? And she says, there were kids starving outside my house. It was kind of a downer. So don't joke about kids starving. It's not funny. And don't tell your kid that kids are starving in Africa when they don't like your food. That's a completely different scenario. And yeah, I'm sure the kids in Africa would love to have the food. But we're not in Africa. There are kids up the street starving. Give it to them. But they probably won't like your food either because it's probably crap. Here's the thing, when my kids didn't like the food, they had to take a bite. If they didn't like it, they got to eat something else. I made sure that either there was something that I knew everybody liked and would eat on the plate, and if that failed, they could make a sandwich. Peanut butter sandwich is right there. If you're allergic to peanut butter, there are other sandwiches available. Cheese. Have a cheese sandwich. It's not that hard to make a sandwich. And kids could do it by the time they were 5 by themselves. Next is what should I do? And is entitled, My life is going to rock bottom, and then I received this text. It says, really sorry, I had something come up. Sorry for not texting you sooner. I think we should talk as well. This is from a guy I've been casually seeing for a year now. We mostly hang out when we're not seeing anyone else. Sounds like a friends with benefits situation. Where's my little fidget toy? He's cute though. I squeeze him to death. Essentially a friends with benefits situation. What did I just say? We both have acknowledged that we don't want to date each other, but enjoy each other's company. So we see each other every week unless we meet someone who we see real potential with. So several months ago, I paused things with him because I was really interested in dating someone new. But after a couple of months, it didn't work out, and we started hanging out again. We were going to hang out tonight, but canceled last minute. After this text, he explained that he went on a date right before we were going to hang out, that we're really, really well. And he wants to stop seeing each other to focus on her. I never actually wanted to date him, so why does this hurt so much? I feel like everything in my life has been crashing down, and this is a cherry on top. You just did the same thing to him. Dude, read the room. I haven't drank alcohol in over 4 years, but suddenly I feel like such a strong urge to drink. I just want to get drunk. I don't want to feel this pain in my pain. I'm not suicidal, but how do I cope with the feeling of the gaping hole in my chest? First of all, don't have friends with benefits because you're going to catch feelings. Um, Familiarity breeds love. I don't know what else to say. Second of all, this is a bad arrangement if you're going to do this because either one of you can say no at any time. And if you're that cut up about it, maybe you should tell him. Maybe you should tell him, or don't do it, or when he comes back after this one doesn't work out. Um, Tell him no, that your heart can't handle it. And that's okay to say no. It's okay. It's fine. He just said no to you. You could be friends, but not friends with benefits. Pray for the Flood says, Father, here, these moments do suck. There's no doubt about it. 2 pieces of advice. Focus on the future. If he does get serious with this lady, it's not a thing anymore, and it will hurt a lot now. As time goes on, you will think of him less and less. First a few hours, then a day, then a few days. It starts stretching into weeks and months as more exciting and interesting things enter and leave your life. There will come a time when you won't think of him for a whole year. That's true. You'll think of him once in a while. He might pop up in your dreams, which is weird. When you haven't thought about him in ages, and then Taylor Swift popped up in my dreams the other night. It's weird. I hadn't thought about her in months. Not seriously, anyway. You see her name all over the place. So she's get married, but second piece, watch stand-up comedy. Sometimes just laughing will help more than a drink ever could. My daughter had a tough breakup. She was having a rough time, so I asked her to come downstairs and watch some TV. We ended up watching 5 hours of stand-up together, laughing and talking and making sense of it all. Even alone, the laugh medicine still works. Laughter is the best medicine. Educational guest says, thank you. I'll call my dad when he wakes up. Stand-up comedy is a great idea. Thank you. Patagonian Step says, as someone who started being sober literally 2 days ago, I could only dream of being 4 years down the road. Keep it going. Edit to anyone who's read this or commented, I've been sober now for a week, and I really feel I can do this times 52. It'll have been a year. We all got this. Good for you. I'm happy for you. Uh, Anal Fisting Gremlin says, probably shouldn't have read that name right. Probably should delete it from my mind. That's gross. Hey, OP's over 15 years here. I get it. It's not about the guy. Were you drunk when you wrote the name, when you wrote your moniker for Reddit? I get it. It's not about the guy. It's about feeling like everything is falling down around you and one of your last comforts has just tumbled. Friends with benefits are friends, and it really sucks when they need to step back to focus on other relationships, especially when you're having a time personally. Having been where you are, it took me a while to recognize those types of relationships are a bit of a crutch for me that replaced alcohol when I finally gave it up. And they served that role for many years. Only in the last several years have I found healthier outlets, focuses to lean on when I'm feeling alone and life is going poorly. If you're not already, I recommend seeing a therapist well versed in addiction who can help you find a healthy coping mechanism and aren't people or other vices things you can do on your own for yourself that you don't need to rely on anyone else to enjoy. In the meantime, stay strong and try to remember why you're sober and those crappy feelings will pass. You got this. Opie says, you're 100% right. Thank you for your kind words and advice. Of course, congratulations on 15 years. That's incredible. Their top rated comment is from Dreamer Kid and says, OPM, a fellow recovering alcoholic who has felt this way a few times lately, worse urge to drink than ever before. Not completely unlike reasons. Feel free to PM me if you want to talk about it. And you're all welcome to become biddies here. We will entertain you at least a little bit. Next, we have malicious compliance, and it is entitled, You Want Me to Switch Classes Mid-Semester? Fine. Every university in my country, and probably most other countries, are mandatory subjects everyone has to take regardless of their major. My friends and I are in mass communication majors for reference. About 2 weeks before the semester started, we registered for classes. We were allowed to choose which faculty section of the mandatory subject we wanted. Since syllabus was identical across faculties, we picked the management faculties Monday 6 to 8 p.m. class instead of the faculty's Friday 10 to 8 to 10 class, a.m. class, because if it's our schedule's better, if it's the drinking schedule's better. Sure. I work part-time on weekends and whenever I can squeeze in shifts, so the Friday morning slot was rough since I had a 2-hour drive time to head back home before work. This wasn't my first rodeo either. I've been in mandatory classes that were different faculty section 2 or 3 times over the past 2 years that I've been at university with no issues. Then week 4 of the semester, our lecturer, Mrs. N, suddenly emailed my friends and I saying she just found out that we're supposedly weren't allowed to be in our class and had to switch back to our own faculty section. Confused, we went on a full wild goose chase between 2 different departments. First, a division handling the mandatory subjects, and then the mass communication faculty admin. When we finally met with the administrator, she was super rude and condescending. She even called us selfish and kept interrupting us, refused to explain anything properly, and just repeating, you can't, you just can't, when we asked her anything. She also asked us questions like, why would you choose another faculty's class? But every time I tried to answer, she cut me off mid-sentence. At that point, I realized what she was doing. She was just trying to wear us down until we gave up. Honestly speaking, if she had been polite, I probably would have relented, but she was so unnecessarily rude that I dug my heels in out of pure spite. Eventually, I cut in. I said, ma'am, you've asked us several times without letting us answer, and you haven't answered ours either. We're willing to comply, but we'd like to understand why we're being asked to switch classes in week 4 and whether there's another option since the schedule accommodates us better. That actually made her stop cutting me off. When she regained composure, she snapped, it messes up the end of the semester report. You students should manage your schedules better. I replied, I thought the university was supposed to accommodate students from different circumstances. I work part-time, for example. She huffed and switched to this fake sweet tone and said, fine, email your lecturer and see if she agrees to let you stay. But if she says no, you have to come back here and drop the class and register for your own faculty section. Okay? Okay. I just smiled and held back how pissed I was. With how she was treating me and my friends, I said, okay, thank you, and we all left. So we emailed the lecturer and CC'd the admin. Mrs. N replied saying she had no issue with us staying in the class. The admin, despite literally saying she'd allow it if the lecturer agreed, suddenly responded with a long explanation about why we shouldn't stay. That's when I pulled my final move. I contacted the lecturer teaching the mass communication section, Miss Z. Miss Z and I are close. I helped her a lot over the past 2 semesters, and I met her during the middle of my first year, and she's always been really supportive of me. I messaged her personally to let her know I might be joining her Friday class, and she was immediately confused because she thought I was staying in the managerial class section. So I explained everything to her, and she was absolutely appalled and told me that apparently the system auto collects grades across all divisions, regardless of the student's major, so it doesn't affect their report in any way. The admin was basically lying. And apparently, the only reason why she wanted me and my friends to switch classes was due to a few students from Mrs. Z's class who requested to switch to Mrs. M's class because Mrs. Z's class was too early for them. But they requested it after the third week, which wasn't allowed anyway. Then she told me that as a lecturer, I had to approve any new students registering for her class. And because of what happened and how it happened, she promised she would not approve my transfer. No approval, no class switch. To make it even better, she doubled down and personally told the admin she didn't want additional students in her class and let us stay in our current class since it was reaching the 5th week and nearing the deadline for our first assignment. So we had very valid reason to say. Sucks to suck, admin. Coder Joe is a top rated comment, and they say, you got caught in the crossfire of a pencil pushing control freak. Sounds like it. No, she was trying to do favors for somebody else. She got caught in the crossfire of, what am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Crossfire, somebody doing somebody else a favor. That's what she got caught in. The admin was trying to get the people she liked out of that class and into the late class because they didn't sign up for the class they wanted, and they should have. Dragon says, sounds like the other students who wanted out of the early class might have been favorites of the pencil pushing freak, control freak. Yep, because didn't I say that? And no, I did not read that ahead of time at all. Role representative says, in Ireland, there are no mandatory classes across different degrees. The general education is done in secondary school. Similar to high school in the States, then your degree just focuses on relative subjects, just just in case everywhere, haha. Cabinet Banana says, that sounds amazing. No, it doesn't. In the US, no, it doesn't. Because we don't have the same curriculum in every state. So some kids are going to not have the classes they need for college. And some schools are good and some schools are not good. You go to college and you get really messed up. In the US, you go to university, we call it college, and have to take all of your general subjects again and pay for them. I would not have mind skipping lab science, given useless astronomy has been an English degree. Yeah, but you get to pick what science class you want. Plus, they're not the same as high school at all. And you never, and it's a good way to explore other things. Maybe you don't want it. Maybe you just think you want to be an English teacher. Maybe your passion really is astronomy and you didn't know it. You didn't know it because there's no astronomy classes in most of the high schools. How would you know? Role representative answers, yeah, I always thought students in the US should do general ed stuff in university, but as far as I understand, in the Irish secondary school is more in broad terms of what is covered over the 6 years from 12 to 18. Oh, that's different. And less focus on extracurricular activities, more academics. I think the level of subjects like English, math, for example, would compare to Irish level secondary school. It says because they're good at public education so bad that they have to bring up university students. No, it's always been like that. Your first 2 years of school are always exploratory. Have always been. Texan Pigeons is the third top rate comment. They say, how were the other students allowed to move from Mrs. Z's class to Mrs. N's class in the same cross-faculty change they weren't allowing for you? OP says that's the thing, they weren't allowed to, but the admin was being difficult and decided to let me and my friends tell me and my friends to switch classes because she felt it was unfair that we got to be in different faculty's class when others couldn't. Well, they could. Well, I would agree it was unfair in a way. I also realized that her reasoning was flawed because one, I had registered for two mandatory classes in the management faculty section. She only wanted me to switch one back for one of them, which ultimately meant that she was just being difficult because it wasn't actually the uni rules to stay in your designated section. Like I said, I've done it before with no problems, and this game was a total surprise. JB says, also, you signed up before the deadline. The others tried to switch during the semester. Yes. Next, we have Evil Buildings, and this is Trellick Tower, North Kensington, London, aka the Tower of Terror. Why is this Tower Terror? Tower Terror is like a roller coaster, I think. Yeah, that's better. I mean, it's not the worst building. It's interesting how you can go from this building all the way over to here. You must have to. Is that on the same level? I can't tell. It might not be. I had to look this place up. Hungarian architect has designed the tower on the left to house the stairs, trash chutes, and an elevator which only stops at every 3 floors. Interesting. Chai Hai says, answers, a lot of housing towers built in that time had elevators stop every few floors to try and promote interaction with your neighbors. Another example is Ponte City in Johannesburg, South Africa. Both towers became infamous for crime. Lovely. Der Man mit dem Plan. Don't know. How is it from the inside? And Xenomorphling says, I lived there for a few months when I lived in London about 10 years ago. It wasn't too bad, to be honest, but I smoked a lot of weed back then, and so did the 50-year-old woman I was renting a bedroom from. My friends joked about her scratching on the floor at night to try it on, and we laughed. And then I came home from studying one day, and she offered me one and took my coat off. I made some excuse about homework to do that night and closed my door tightly. In hindsight, I probably should have taken the deal of banging the landlady for cheaper rent. Oh. Hello, Lawrence says, interesting trivia. This is where Damon Albarn and Jamie Hewlett first conceived the idea for gorillas. The building is also featured in some of their music videos and visualizers. Break time. Make sure it's already dry. Already dry. Next is AITAH. It's entitled WIBTAH. If I, 29 male, doubled down on what my fiance, 27 female, said today and canceled the wedding, which is this weekend. Today's fight was how to go to the venue, directly from the hairdresser or from my parents' home. She accused me of being mommy's boy and accused my mom of making me fight her wars. Called my mom an idiot and said she wanted to break up, even after I said I didn't know this was a big issue for her and we can do whatever she wants. Then I said it's a big decision to make just days before the marriage. She was awfully hurt and I didn't want to talk to her right now. We didn't talk for 5 or 6 hours after I called her and she talked with her family about breaking up with me. I also talked with a couple of friends. Since it took so long for me to call and to apologize, I said that she's out of her mind and that I wanted to think whether I really wanted to go through with this and wanted time to think about it all. I don't have much time, so I want others' opinions. I mean, seriously, this is what you're fighting about? What the heck? No, you should not get married. No. I get cold feet. I had cold feet. Not the day before the wedding, like couple of months before the wedding, yeah, I'd started rethinking things. Got married anyway. It's been fine. It's been going on. Oh, we have an anniversary coming up, like real quick. 4 days from now, day before my husband goes out of town. Maybe we can use that to go out. Maybe I can use that as an excuse to go out Wednesday night or Tuesday night. Tuesday night. I think he's leaving Wednesday. Tuesday's our anniversary of 36 years. So it can work out even if you're an idiot and have cold feet, but not the day before the wedding. And you shouldn't be fighting the day before the wedding. We didn't fight at all that week. And we bicker a lot. We bickered a lot. We're bickerers. It's not knockout, drag out fights. First heartbreak comment is from Present Reflection, and she says, "NTA, if you go through with it, she'll constantly bring up the divorce every time you don't apologize to her for the awful crap she says to you." Yeah, do you want to live like that? Are you sure you want to live like that? My brother-in-law, I was working with him at the time. Well, actually, I was working. He was a student. I was the secretary in his area where he needed to do his practicums. Every day he saw me, it was like, "Are you sure you want to do it? Are you sure you want to do it?" Every day. It's like, "Keith, leave me alone." Yes, I'm sure. I don't know what his problem was. He had gotten married just a couple of years earlier to my sister-in-law, my now sister-in-law, my husband's sister. Like, yeah, they have a nice family. You're in it. Hello. Dork. Feeling leader answers this. My husband started saying he was going to divorce me 2 weeks after the wedding. He took issue to my dad's wedding speech, but he also took issue with most things, especially to do with my family, and my family are not bad people. If it's like this before the wedding, it's not going to be any different afterwards. It's usually worse, and even if it's just because of wedding stress, well, then OP now knows how she handles its stress, and it's not good. Technical Tangelo says, "For real, if you guys can't get through the wedding stress peacefully, how will you get through all the real life challenges to come?" Entertainment Annalie says, "I tend to believe that it was the entire purpose of a year-long engagement and huge function with multiple opinions and more money than you'll ever spend on a function again. It really does test how you're matched up." True. Also, if you have each other's backs, if one person wants something and the other person doesn't, like my husband did not want a certain person performing the wedding. I fully backed him on that. Did not want that person even coming to the wedding. And that would have been the preferred person for my family to it was the preacher at their church. I couldn't stand the man. I went to a funeral years and years later. I went to my grandfather's funeral. He asked me why I was there. He didn't even know that was my grandfather. That's how big of an idiot he is. He's supposed to be a pastor. He's supposed to be ministering to people. He's an idiot. And you know why I don't church? Traditional ad says, "I wouldn't even consider marrying her right now." John PG says, she doesn't want to get married either. Exactly. Chevron Sugarhearts answers, "That's exactly what I thought. She's picking fights so she doesn't have to be the bad guy. He's the victim. Not outside of their own possibility." Vivid Wind says, it's a third type break comment. They say, "NTA, is this your soulmate? Is this the love of your life? Is this the person who makes you feel safe, gives you peace, makes your life complete?" Blue Topaz answers, "It's so much easier to break up now before you're legally married than afterwards. It's a pain to cancel vendors, tell guests, etc., but divorce can be long and exceedingly more expensive." Honestly, you can't cancel anything at this point. It's the day before. You can't cancel. So break up and have a party. Have a party. You can have a misery party. Eat the food, listen to the songs, maybe change the songs a little bit, maybe change your song list a little bit. Let everybody else have a party. You can wallow a little bit. It's okay. You don't even have to go. Just have everybody else go. Say, go have fun on my dime. Next, we have Neighbors from Hell is entitled, How Do I Get My Neighbor to Stop Sending Her Kids to My House So I Can Walk Them to School Unpaid? Say no. So, backstory, I live in a predominantly South Asian neighborhood, and there's a house across the street with two young kids who like to come over after school and play with my child, which I have no problem with. But they ring the doorbell to play all the time, even when my child is doing homework at night when my child is already asleep. You can make rules. Do not come to my house during this time and this time, because I will be mean to you if you do. The younger kid of theirs, kindergarten, has autism and no one watches him play outside besides the older sister, grade 3. He recently broke the front railing of my house steps, which pissed me off. So I went to tell their mother the damage her son had caused and that I don't want them playing together anymore if her kids won't respect my property. She agreed and told her husband to come and fix the damage. Once the damage was fixed, she started sending her kids over to play again after school. And now in the morning, because she sees me walking my child to school and knows every day knowing that I'm a younger mom and work from home. I don't drive or have a car. While she's always home and she has a car, she can easily drive her kids to school, but chooses me instead. Why doesn't she walk them to school? Does she not have legs? Like, yeah, I used to drive my kids to school when the weather was not great, but most of the time we walked. And by third grade, they were walking with the younger siblings with them. She's never outside to have a conversation. She never talks to me and expects me to take on the responsibility for her children for free. I'm not the only person this is happening to, but it's mainly me since I'm across the street. I get it's a neighborly thing to do, but when does that end? How do I get to stop? Even in the morning when we are late, the kids are outside my house for 20 minutes waiting for me to take them all to school. I have to resort to leaving early and through the back door. Any advice help? Jibbity Jabbity says you tell her no, you send the kids home. Say, you live over there, you need to go talk to your mom. Your mom needs to get you to school. Yvonne Coleman says, low key, you're being too nice. Sometimes you gotta be that neighbor and shut it down. Your house, your rules. She will get the hint if you keep saying no. Apart Foundation says, also just send them back to their mom and tell her you're not responsible for your kids. You just have to assertively say no and not quaver. Always Searching says this, I miss walking my children to elementary school. All of the moms looked out for all of the kids, but all the parents showed up. She can walk her kids to school and hopefully be grateful for the time she can spend with her little ones. Children grow and change quickly. Yeah, and don't shove your kids off on somebody else because that might be their time to like chit chat about what's going on in their lives. Tanarmi says, maybe it's Tunarmi? I don't know. I would go to her house and ring the bell and talk to her when she knows she's home and tell her that you don't want to be responsible for her children in the morning. You never agreed to that. And even though you go with your own child, you do not agree with being responsible for her children, and she needs to take them to school herself. It's not up for discussion. You do not want to have to watch additional kids in the morning, and they are not welcome to join you on your morning routine. If that doesn't work for you, also mention that you don't want them coming over after whatever time in the evening because it's too late in the day and disrupts your family schedule. Hopefully, she will respect your decisions. If not, then send the kids back home every single time or don't answer the door. The best way to address it directly. You're allowed to say no. She's making assumptions that she shouldn't, that her kids can just go with you, but you need to make it clear that you don't agree to that and it doesn't work for you and you will not be allowing it anymore. Just say it. Be nice about it, but be direct. Maybe the third grader is supposed to be taking the little one to school and they're just tagging along. She doesn't even know. That's a possibility too. No Cantaloupe says send them home 100%. Alternative Tribe says this, send them back across the street and tell her to get them to school herself and send them back home every time they come over, not your responsibility. Next we have Found Satan and it is entitled, What Would You Choose? So, trigger warning, this is about gendered bathrooms. Go to gendered bathrooms, replace the signs with two random things like a fish and a sandal, watch people puzzle out just here. It says it's not vandalism, it's an art project. This is not saying this is a good thing. Uh, there's an answer. If you go write down the results properly, format the paper, it even counts as science. That's funny. I love it. That is funny, and I love it. Have you ever been in a non-gendered bathroom? They're awesome. My husband and I went in and came out at the same time. That hardly ever happens. Hardly ever. Went in, did our thing, came back out, met at the sinks. It was great. Spacing out says the science bit was what got me, I cannot lie. Now I'm curious, could actually do an experiment with it. Most objects, when juxtaposed like this, would have a male and female connotation, boils down to an innie or outie. Now, if you purposefully use ambiguous items, I wonder if it would even stump anyone or have them using the opposite restroom. I write my name in crayon says this would be even better if you compared it to the gendered tag in French, Spanish, whatever. See if a random sample agrees or disagrees with the assigned gender of the internet and washing machine. Major dresses. I choose one with a functioning lock on the door. 100%. Sentia Clara DeVos is the third top right comment. She says, I once went to an art museum where they labeled the restroom as sitting only and standing and sitting, respectively. That's awesome. Next, we have Just No Mel. And is entitled, Mill told us all or no one for a visit list of invites she made for our going away party. Okay, none of your people. And Mill has constantly overstepped her boundaries, but this time my husband finally saw what she's been doing since I've known her. My husband and I are moving across the country soon and wanted to have one last goodbye with our family and friends. We got married in the fall and did not invite a lot of extended family because we wanted it to be intimate. So for this party, we're inviting extended family and friends we didn't invite to the wedding. My mother-in-law was aware that where we were throwing the party for ourselves, as in we are paying for everything, planning, setting up, etc. I sent her the online invitation last week and also got printed ones for older family members. Her response, can I send you a list of names and addresses to invite? Not anything about helping out or anything besides her worrying about inviting her friends. To give some context, one of her friends has been continuously rude and condescending and not inclusive of me. I was not invited to her son's wedding this past year. Every other couple in my husband's friend and family group was invited together. Yeah, this is a person you don't want to party with. My Mill defended this lady and the couple so hard for not inviting me and then ended that conversation by saying to my husband, they just don't like you anymore and you have to get over it. So when I got her lovely list of invitations and saw these people were on it, I told my husband I absolutely do not want them at my party. I do not want to feel uncomfortable at my own party, and I want to spend it celebrating with my friends and family before I move 3,000 miles away. But this was the first time husband has stood his ground against Mill on a boundary, and she lost it. We come up with a very polite but firm text stating that we greatly appreciated the list and the addresses, but as it is our party, we will be inviting only those we feel comfortable around. After this text was sent, she spam called him 5 times, demanding to know when he met and told him that he was being ridiculous and couldn't talk about this right now. Although she was the one who called several times. She then went on to say that only her and my father-in-law would be attending from the list. Then she continued to say that no one from the list is allowed to come if we don't invite all of them. Oh, BS. This list included cousins and family we were already inviting, so it was just theatrics. Then she proceeded to say that her and her father and father-in-law helped pay for some of the wedding and didn't get to celebrate with their friends, so they have to come. That turned into trying to guilt husband that we didn't invite her friends to our wedding, and she had to deal with the collateral damage and backlash. of why was so-and-so invited and not us. So-and-so was invited because I like them and I don't like you, and that's why you weren't invited to my wedding, whom I get to choose who comes to. Why do you want to go to weddings of people that don't even like you? It's weird. Am I overreacting to being so annoyed and upset about this? It feels like such a double standard. I'm so scared to see her going forward. She asked me to lunch a week before, which she has never done, and not even during wedding planning. So I had a feeling she would have brought this topic up. Thank goodness I didn't go to that lunch. I think for my sanity, I will be going very LC. I'm already low contact, but hopefully the 3,000 miles will make it easier. Yeah. Milo Giz says, you and a husband need to grow a backbone, stand your ground, and inform mother in law that this is your party, not hers. And just like they got to invite who they wanted to their wedding, you will be invited to who you want at your going away party. If she can't accept that, then in the future she will be cut out of any future grandchildren's lives and major events. All y'all life. I don't know what that means in that context. That is not the proper use of that word. Also, ask her why uh, would you invite people that said they don't like you. Tell her that you and your hubby has decided y'all answer. It's final. It is final. I don't know. That is not English. I'm sorry. Matt Sports Guy is the second time read comment, and he says, "I just don't like you anymore. You should just have to. I just have to get over it." Um, Mad Peach Pie is the third top rated comment, and they say, "Are you sure you want her at that party?" No, I'm not. Next, we have Petty Revenge. It is entitled "The Bully and Her Bookmark." I just remembered this today since I took my mom to lunch for Mother's Day, and she mentioned seeing my bully's mom at church. I had a bully, Jackie, was a terrible person, beyond mean girl. She was one of those popular kids who would go out of her way to be deliberately cruel, and she loved to pick on me. Why do people friends with these people? Why are you letting your child be a friend to a kid like this? They're not nice. They're not nice. I would be upset if my kid came home and told me things that people like this do. She loved to pick on me. Catholic school, we had the same classmates all 8 years. She rode my bus, so there was no escaping her. She was also dumb and lazy. Of course she was. I was an extremely shy and quiet child, almost completely silent, and I used to read a lot. So I was reading for several levels above my grade. Our sixth grade teacher, Sister Louise, assigned us a monthly book report. You could either hand in a written report or do a little crafting like a diorama and a short presentation. There's a dang turkey again. Mr. Turkey is back today, going the opposite way. This must be his return trip from his little overnight, whatever he was doing. Papers are due on Friday, but presentations were during our English period for the week preceding the Friday due date. A couple of months into the school year, at the beginning of the week, Jackie did her presentation of a book that was maybe fourth grade reading level, but she had obviously never read the book or even the synopsis on the back cover. So her presentation was a story she made up on the picture on the front cover. That same day, it seemed like she was especially horrible to me on the bus going home, and I was angry at that and her blatant cheating. She didn't even bother to read a little kid's chapter book. I read that book a while ago, so I remembered the story, but I also checked it out from the library and skimmed it to refresh my memory of certain points. Then I did my very in-depth book report on that same book, pointing out minute details and making sure it was obviously not the plot Jackie had presented. I got 100% on that report, and Jackie got 25% because she had at least done a diorama. And her mother had to have a meeting with Sister Louise, and Sister Louise then decided that we had to choose a book from the sixth grade reading list or get our book pre-approved. A lot of the other kids were mad that they couldn't choose an easy book now because of Jackie. Jackie was ranting and raving on the bus that she got caught because someone did a report on the same book. But I don't think she ever even suspected it was me because I was a kid who always had my nose buried in far more advanced books. And I think they assumed I had done a report on one of those. Sister Louise knew exactly what I had done because I had to get my next book approved, and she gave me a very pointed look with a smirk and says, "Yes, this seems to be a book more in line with your reading level." I liked to think that she was kind of proud that I fought back the only way the quietest child knew how. P.S. Sister Louise ran a tight ship. There was no bullying in class. It all happened in sports practice, at Girl Scouts, on the bus, or in the neighborhood. It was also 40 plus years ago when there wasn't a big zero tolerance for bullying movement. We were just supposed to deal with it. Confused Fraggle is a top rate comment, and they say, creative way to get silent revenge and boost your classmates' reading level at the same time. Nice. Impressive Safety says, chef's kiss from one bookworm to another. Parker Hallam says, acknowledge Sister Louise's acknowledgement. Go, Sister Louise, for being quietly approving. Got this cake for my mom's birthday from Walmart. This is what your mom likes, okay. She's apparently a strange mom. Skulls are not what I think of when I think of mom and a black cake. And that's going to turn your poop really green, by the way. Really green. That's not terrible. But actually pretty good. It's not terrible at all. Do you think it's terrible? I don't think it's terrible. I'm Invisib, but says, every Walmart cake I've seen on the sub has met or exceeded expectations. I'm honestly shocked how great these turned out. I am too. Walmart does a really good job. Like, what's up with that? They fail at everything else. Ad Excellent says, I keep seeing them and I'm suspicious of plants. Queen of the Bowl says, I've gotten mine and now my kids' birthday cakes from Walmart, and they do make sure to hire people who know what they're doing for cake decorating. The cakes always look just like what we requested, especially if it was in their book of orders, but my custom requests have always come out nigh on perfectly what I pictured. I'm glad you can do that. I felt bad the last 2 years, but my kiddo wants a specific cake, and I know I'll get it when I go to them, while most of the other shops in our area are real hit or miss. How do they taste? Tiny Steggy says, if someone inspired me to get one for Mother's Day, it looked very but it tasted like the $15 I paid for. I mean, Sam's Club is good. Costco's good. Kroger's actually really good. Walmart, not so much. The cakes are not that good. They look beautiful, but they're not that good. Okay. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. You know the drill. Come on. What are we doing here? I go live 3 times a week at least in the summer. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday I do 11:30. The other 2 days are at noon. Next week I'll probably do Wednesday at 11:30 or at noon, because I don't have to come back home and cook more after I get home from grocery shopping. Grocery shopping takes a lot out of me. I have ADD and it's just too much concentration. All right, next is our real estate section, and this is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's almost $1.4 million, 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4,500 square feet, almost 4,600 square feet. The first photo. Okay. This is not from Zillow. So I don't know how many photos there are. But it's a lovely little house. I like it. Low maintenance on the outside. I'm not a fan of the decorating, but the room is fine. If that's even not AI. I mean, there are shadows, so maybe it's not. That's a lovely kitchen. I'm not a huge fan of the marbly stuff, but it's livable. I could live with it if I had to. Not my first choice, but it's not my last either. Cabinets are nice. That's about the color of the cabinets in my house. Although I would rather have the cabinets match the. I would darken them to match the window casings in the door, or redo the window casings in the door. That's lovely. Why is it so much money? Nice refrigerator. The sink is ginormous. I like that it's recessed. I wish mine was, because mine is not, and I wanted it to be, and they wouldn't do it for me. I was mad. My son would probably do it correctly nowadays, but he was just a kid. He was only in 6th grade when we moved here. It's nice. I've already seen this picture. Well, dude here. I don't know what the room this is. I like the little shelfy thing though. Oh, that's kind of cool. I actually like that. Is that wallpaper? If it's wallpaper, it's got to go. You don't do wallpaper in a bathroom. But I do like it. It's really cool. Bedroom. And that's the bath we just looked at, I believe. Opens. I don't know. Maybe there's a sitting room back there. I can't read it. It's too small. They are showing up over here where we're looking. Upper 3rd floor bedroom. Very nice. Oh, that bathroom is really nice. That is a lovely bathroom. Even has windows that open in the shower. That's beautiful. It's lovely. I mean, the details are beautiful. Oh, look, it has a pony door. That's so cool. I love it. Put a screen on that sucker, let some breeze in. I'm all about the breeze today. This is on the 1st floor. There's so many pictures that are almost the same. Nice fireplace on the 1st floor. That's cool. See, that's in there. Another fireplace. Interesting. This is a butler's pantry. That's cool. I wish I had a butler's pantry. I kind of do, but I like digging things out. Moving them all around. I need to throw my pantry. I think I'll probably do that next week when husband's out of town, because I can get it all out of there and redo it all. Nice. Nice entryway. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Do they glow? What's that house? Okay. So it's a sitting room. I believe this is off the master, maybe. I don't know why they didn't do an order. Like the master bedroom. That's also a lovely bathroom. They had good decorating. Oh, that's the same bathroom, I think. Yeah, that wallpaper's the same. If it's not wallpaper, it can stay. Why do we have a Coliseum on a stack of books on a chair? A modern 1950s groovy chair. It's weird. It's so weird. Oh, you gotta have one thing, right? We're only halfway through. We're only about halfway through the pictures, guys. Lovely closet. Another lovely bathroom. There's a stairwell. Another bathroom. How many bathrooms does this place have? I guess there's 4. New idea. And Northwest idea. I don't know what that means. NW idea. Could be me. Side of the house. Garden. The yard is lovely. Back of the house. I don't like it. It's 2 streets. It's kind of stinky. Back porch, I assume. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's above the garage. That's neat. Garage roof has a nice little patio area or deck area, whatever you want to call it. That's lovely. Okay, I guess that was just the driveway, not an actual road. Well, that's good. Then you got your ubiquitous drone shots. I wonder when those are going to go out of style again. They just knew that put so many in because they're new. You know that's true. Oh, the front. That's kind of cool. Yeah, nice. It's got a big yard. Water heater. Looks gas. I want electric. I love my electric water heater, by the way. It is awesome. Okay, from the front, how do you get into the house? From the bedroom, I guess. Yeah, your kitchen, your breakfast nook, your sitting room, which could also be an office, has a fireplace in it. Living room has a fireplace in it. A nice big butler's pantry. It's kind of far away from the kitchen, to be honest. I would put this as a dining area, a dining room. It doesn't have a dining room. Why does it have a sitting room and not a dining room? Yeah, it's got to have some different design to it. Then you have the primary bedroom, and then you have the primary bedroom sitting room, and another big, huge, giant bedroom. The bedrooms are huge. You got a bathroom there and a bathroom there. So these both have their own bathrooms, and they both have their own fireplaces. And you have 2 bedrooms upstairs, and this says it's an office, but it could also be another bedroom if you needed it to be. So really, it has bedroom, bedroom, bedroom if you want. Giant storage area. How do you get there? I don't see an opening to it. How do you get into the storage area? And that's open to the 2nd floor. And the basement is unfinished, but it has rooms. Interesting. So you could do a lot in the basement. It has a lot of house. Quite a lot of house. And there are resting pictures. I still don't know why it doesn't have a formal dining room unless that space that they called a sitting room was supposed to be the dining room. That would be, that's what I would do. I would put the sitting room as a dining room because you have other places for sits. Oh, this is the mudroom. Okay. Okay, now we're repeating. Okay. Does say it has 5 bedrooms, 4 baths. It could have 6 bedrooms. Built in 1888. It's on less than a third of an acre, more of a half acre, more than a half acre. It was designed by George Pearson, and it is a rare opportunity to own a historically significant property. And they describe everything, which I'm not doing because we already saw it. It is 2/10 of a mile from Germantown Friends School and Paloma Flowers. 3/10 of a mile from SEPTA's Worcester Station. So it's close to a station for the SEPTA. I assume that's either the bus or the train. So that's cool. It doesn't have a foyer, but it doesn't have an entrance to the foyer. It's weird. How do you get into it? How do you get into the foyer? I'm going to have to look at this some more. Okay. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3 full baths, and a half bath. It has 1 main level bath. Forced air heat, natural gas, central air. Pretty normal. It includes a refrigerator, cooktop, washer, water heater, dryer, gas water heater. I didn't see a place for. Did we see a laundry? Did I forget already? Features are additional stairway, soaking tub, bathroom, shower stall, bathroom, walk-in shower. Built-in features butler's pantry, combination kitchen dining area. It does not have a separate dining area. Stop lying. Floor plan is traditional. Kitchen island, eat-in kitchen, primary baths, upgrade countertops. Flooring is all wood. That's nice. Windows are stained and lead glass. Also nice. The basement's unfinished. You can do whatever you want down there. Put in a theater room. That'd be awesome. That's what we're doing in our basement. And 4 fireplaces with wood burning. No accessibility features, by the way. So with that in mind, you'll have to add some stuff if you are disabled. Annual tax amount is only $6,011. That's amazing. Okay, sign me up. I can now afford this house because I don't have to pay taxes. I like it. In my favor says this sub really produces some of my favorite examples of residential housing every Thursday. Banana says Thursday for McMansion. This stuff has good stuff every day. He answers, crap, you're right. Southern Smoke is the OP, and she says, I save the best ones for Thursday, though. It's like an unofficial thing. So Thursdays go to Zillow Gone Wild on Reddit. Helios Travel says, love it, maybe my favorite of the month, but it's not the top rated one of the month. It's not even close to the top rated one. We're only in the second week. We got 2 more weeks to go. Technical Rose says the rug echoing the windows is in the entryway. And OP says it also echoes the side table that's black and white in the corner of the entryway that the photographer never got a full view of. Whomever renovated this place seems to do it for a living. Details in the office say they're interior designer or architect, so that makes more sense. Second top rated comment says the valuations put it between $6,000 and $7,000, but they listed it at 1.3K. What does Zillow list the value at? From same answers. The house next door to this one sold for 550,000 in 2024. Yeah, 1.3 million seems like a wish. Yeah, it's overpriced, so I should it's $6,000. I could buy this. $700,000. I could buy it. I don't want to, but the I'd save money on I'd save money on the taxes because they're way lower than mine. Well, half of mine. The same that they're nowhere near the same. 4,500 square feet versus 600 and 60.68 acres versus 40.41. Has only street parking, and Philly is notoriously bad for that. Central air versus forced air. Central air and forced air are the same thing. Central air and forced air are the same thing. So it screams flippers. It kind of does. All right. That was a fun house. I like it. Does it come with the furniture? Because I keep everything except the kitchen set. Next, we have Am I the Jerk? And is entitled Am I the Jerk for Ditching My Date? I don't know what they do. So I went on a date last night and I need to know if I'm the jerk because truly I've never experienced anything like this in my life and I don't know if I overreacted or not. I, 23 female, met this girl on a Hinge about a week ago. So they're clearly they're bi or lesbian. Cute girl, let's call her Lady. I've been taking Hinge a little bit more seriously, so I have my non-negotiable on there. Have their own apartment or house, can't have kids, pretty simple. I've been on a few dates, they were dead, so I had my hopes up for this one. Lady actually ended up matching with me and sending me the first message. Her message said it checked all your boxes. At first I forgot what was on my profile, so I asked her. She said, I don't have kids, I have my own place too. And like, yes, finally. I think having your own place is that seems like you're trying to move in with someone and using their place as yours. I don't like it. Like, it doesn't matter if they have their own place or not. They could have roommates, they could live with their parents. What did she say, 23? You're 23. Do you have your own place, ma'am? Because if you do, that makes it just difficult for everybody to move around once you decide to do that. Like, yes, finally, the fact that she matched with me and sent the first message was amazing, and we started talking from there for about a week, casual stuff like hobbies, common interests, etc. Conversation was fine, nothing was off, vibes were good. So she asked me last night if we wanted to go out on a date, and I said yes. She told me she didn't have a car, which normally would be non-negotiable, but we live in Chicago, and it's not abnormal not to have a car. So she sent me an address and says, can you pick me up for our date? So I said, of course. I picked a Mexican place that I've been meaning to go to. It's new and by the water. And I heard a lot about it from my coworkers, and this seemed to be the perfect opportunity. So I got out of work yesterday, go to the gym, go shower, and get ready for the date. How late is this date? I'm actually super jazzed. I tried on this new Pinterest hairstyle I've been wanting for an occasion to wear and stuff. Okay, you're too much, girl. You're too much. Get in my car and I start heading over to the address she gave me. I'm getting closer. I see no houses, no apartments, but I'm like, whatever. I pull up in a meta strip mall. I'm confused because I'm not seeing apartments or houses. I moved here in March, so I've never been here before. So I pull up and text her I'm here, and I ask her if I have the right place because this is a strip mall. But I know some places have apartments on top that can be rented out. Lady replies that yes, so I get the message. Which one is your apartment? She says, oh, I'm actually in the nail salon just finishing up. Do you want to come in and wait for me? So now I'm thinking very odd, but sure. I walk to the nail salon and text her that I'm inside. She texts me that she's waving, and I find her sitting getting a pedicure. I walk up and say, nice to meet you. And the lady is like, I'm so sorry. I thought I would be done by now, but I should be only in 5 or 10 more minutes. So I'm waiting for her to finish, we do some small talk, and she told me she's excited for our dinner and how excited she is to meet me. And the whole time I'm thinking this is such an awkward way to start our first date because I thought I was picking her up from an apartment. Well, don't make assumptions, first of all. That was an assumption. Maybe she wanted you to pick her up from work. Maybe she doesn't want you to know where she lives yet. I mean, there's perfectly plausible explanations for this. And the whole time as we were talking, she casually drops it. It's going to be about $120. I just give her a confused look and she says, my pedicure is going to be $120. I just want to look good for you. Is that okay? And it winging clicks in my brain. She wants me to pay for her pedicure. I'm actually appalled by the gall of this woman. Finally said, oh, you want me to cover it? She says, yeah, I mean, I'm getting ready for our date and I want to look nice for you. No, ma'am, that is not how that works. Now I'm clocking her crap now and I say I'll cover it for her. And she smiles and tells me since I'm paying, I can pick the color. Now the nail lady is finishing scrubbing the lady's feet and I'm not going to look at her feet because I hate feet. So I turn around and go to the wall with all the color options. And I just pick a random ass one like pink. I'm not the type of person to go to nail salons. And now we can't go on our date because I can't afford it. I can't afford to go out now. I've just paid $120 for you to get your feet done. Most I've done are press-ons from Target, and those are only for my college graduation. But I see their pricing menu services on the wall and see the $120 is the deluxe pedicure with wax and alkaline callus peels. And I go back over to the lady and the nail employee and say, we might as well go all out with the add-ons, skin treatment, everything. And the nail salon's employees go huge like Mr. Krabs seeing money. I swear to God. And the lady is like, oh my God, you're amazing. Thank you so much. And they say, if we're going to make you look good, we're going to make you look good. And I can't wait to see that color on you. And the employee gets started and small talk kind of dies down. So I wander around the salon a bit. I watch the fish and then I pull out my phone and cancel our dinner reservation. I then go back over her about 10 minutes later and see how it was going and ask the lady if she likes how it is so far. And she's smiling ear to ear. And I say something along the lines of, yeah, your feet look great. And as I'm doing this, I'm patting my pockets, like looking for my wallet. And I'm like, oh my God, I'll be right back. I left my wallet in the car. Give me 5 minutes. The lady looks at me and says, no problem. I'll see you in a minute. Then I walk out of the nail salon, walk to my car, and sit my ass right down in the seat and drive away. Good. I was waiting for this. I left her in the nail salon because why did you think I was going to offer you to take you out to dinner? You thought I was going to pay for a minimum $120 plus tip for you to get a pedicure? I don't even like feet. I really like talking to her over text and thought we'd get along great. I haven't opened Hinge since to see if she's messaged me at all. I'm glad I didn't give her my number, but I'm also kind of bad. Don't. Don't. Excellent. I love it. I love it. Entire night is the top rated comment. It says, you're a queen. So much respect for you right now. And TJ. Feeding Fab Eula says, we bow down to our new queen. Artist deal answers, all hail. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Maximus Sky says, absolutely not. That's something you do for something you're in a long-term relationship with when it becomes a thing to take care of each other, not something you do when you literally have not been on one single date yet. The audacity. Maximum Sky says, answers also to $120 bucks for a petty. WTF. Fold the Cheese says, for real, I'm in Chicago as well, and most petties are like $35 to $60. And I go to a pretty nice salon. My previous ones were also nice places, but OP, I really want to know what this new Mexican place by the water is because I want to go. Everybody wants to go to the Mexican place by the water. I should send it to my niece. She lives in Chicago. Opportunity Mother, she doesn't watch us. She's way too busy. She's a doctor. Opportunity Mother says, NTJ, love this. Go off, Queen. It's amazing and hilarious. I kind of hope you open Hinge and post her responses. Opie says, I opened it. I can't post photos in the comments here, but I'm putting it on my profile to say she's not happy. Okay, we got to do that. We got to do that. Oh, she doesn't have them up. That sucks. She hid everything. She's hiding things now. That's not nice. That's not nice. Chaos Goblin is third rated comment. Or maybe it's the fourth rated one. They say, okay, where the F is this nail salon? A petty goes for $120. Secondly, I wouldn't do this to my current partner, let alone someone I'm meeting for the first time. She's got as much as she deserves for pulling that crap. If she wants to be a sugar baby, there's a different app for that. Signs with this story entitled Local Pharmacy Gets a Minute, Needs a Minute. Signs with a story entitled Local Pharmacy Needs a Minute. Oh, trigger warning. It's not good. Close for now. Give us time, please. There's bodily fluid everywhere. Oh no, I wonder what happened. There's got to be a lot that happened there. That does not sound fun. You can stay closed. You can stay closed for a while. Emergency Sushi says, I kind of want to know what happened in GL. Impressive Change says, crap, probably, literally. JMW says, murder sewage leak customer, a little late picking up incontinence meds. Customer puked, employee either did one of those, customer with mental issues, colostomy bag exploded. I'm not saying that. That's making me sick. Okay, I got to get off of this one before I gag. I don't do bodily fluids. I told you this already. We've told you this already. I don't like my hair today. It's not staying where I want it to stay. It's not doing what I want it to do. It's annoying me. Next, we have confession entitled, I'm going to walk out of work tonight during a rush. That sounds fun. I put in my 2-week notice and now I'm down to my last 2 shifts. They have scheduled me with a racist who don't communicate tonight. I don't work night shifts, so I don't even know why they scheduled me with her. They have me getting off at midnight, even though they know I have a 9 a.m. lecture. If I walk out, I will only leave her, kind of bring me joy to think of her struggling. Canadians say the thing about 2 weeks notice is that we are conditioned as workers to give them, but it's a massive courtesy and it's not reciprocated. I say go for it. There's no reason for you to stay, and there's no reason for you to give any sort of respect. They're not willing to give you back. Exactly. I always wanted to get a job just so I could walk out. Does that mean? I never did it. Now I won't. Now I won't do it. I won't get that opportunity. Likely. Icy Frost says the thing is, once you put your 2 weeks in, work will start to treat you like the bottom of the barrel. For example, putting you on the worst shift with the worst customer. Opie says, I've been here for 6 years and I've been given the cold shoulder since I did it. It's like they take it as I've never had that happen to me, but they take it as a personal rebuke. It's not. My dad never did. My dad always said, thank you for your notice. You go where you need to go. If they can pay you more power to you. His employees never always came back. Almost always. O'Reilly says, I've done this exact same thing before and it felt great. This is interesting as Wang. Twice a year, twice a year in Ohio. Oh my gosh. I need a nap. I took a nap yesterday. Interesting as F. Twice a year in Hawaii, the sun passes directly overhead and objects cast no shadow. It's a phenomenon called Lahana Noon. Although you have a shadow, sir. That looks so fake. That is so fake. It's not even funny. Look at this. This is ridiculously fake. That is AI. That is Photoshop or something. That is not sitting there correctly. That is fake. That is fake as F. It doesn't look right. This has got to be fake. It says Clover floating coconut milk. Alice Wolf says, OMG, it looks surreal. It looks like the can is just poorly photoshopped in. That's because it is poorly photoshopped in. Here you go. Here's a picture of the real thing. This was made to show that it has no shadow, even though it has a shadow because it still has a shadow because it has holes. It says liars. It has a shadow. Oops. Hit the wrong button. See, there's a shadow right there. Liquid Ghost says it took way too long to find a smartass to make this comment. Thank you for your service. Somebody's Cineplex says it doesn't only happen in Hawaii, it's all of the tropics of certain latitude of Cancer, Capricorn. Next says, Am I the a-hole? And is entitled AITA for not letting my friend use the photographer she refused to hire with me. We already read this one. This is Alana. Okay, how did I mess that up? Let's go look for the one we're supposed to be reading. Oh, it seems I did not correctly at all on this one. Well, that was a bad mistake. All right. All right. Am I the a-hole? It's entitled AITA. Oh, shoot. That's not the one I wanted. How did I delete the one I wanted? accidentally hit the same one again because it wasn't marked correctly. All right. This is from Am I the A-hole, entitled AITI for sitting on public toilet seats and not telling my boyfriend. When I, 27 female, need to pee in public, for example, at a restaurant or gas station, if the toilet seat is clean, I will sit down on the toilet to pee. Even if it has a little bit of pee on it, I will wipe it with a tissue before I sit down. That seems like normal human behavior. My boyfriend of 3 years recently learned of this when I made a passing comment about sitting on a porta potty, and he is absolutely horrified. He is really grossed out that I have had sex with him after sitting on a public toilet seat, and likens it to him wiping his dick with the lid of a toilet. No, it's not. It's not. Or that he is putting his mouth on people's poo parts when he goes down on me. Ever hear of soap, sir? I asked a couple of friends, and so far the consensus is that I'm definitely the gross one. I should always hover to pee. I feel like I'm going crazy. Am I the a-hole for sitting on public toilet seats? Next Pantria says, NTA, hovering ladies are the ones who make the toilet seats dirty and disgusting for the rest of us. Exactly. Sit down. It's also bad for your health because you don't pee all the way out and you can get a urinary tract infection. Root Cauliflower says, I can't believe that hovering ladies don't realize that. They're the ones making the toilet lid gross. Edit. Thank you for giving me all these awards and upvotes, even though I mixed up toilet lid and toilet seat. Marla Harlot says they realize they just don't give a crap. It's the rest. Same with women who line the seat with toilet paper, and just leave it there when they're done. Yeah, that's gross. Somebody said something about washing your hands, and somebody says apparently there are people who find it's more disgusting to sit on the toilet seat than forgetting to wash their hands when they leave the bathroom. They're not forgetting; they're just not doing it. Nobody forgets. Oopsie daisies, the second top rate comment says, does your boyfriend think that you pull your lips apart and rub your vagina all over the toilet seat? Or does he understand anatomy? NTA, this is bonkers. I will hover over nasty porta potty seats and stuff, but if it looks clean, it's a relatively clean establishment. Of course you sit. How does he hover over the toilet to take a crap? Exactly. That's uncomfortable. Friendly Hobag says, got to grip the toilet seat with the lips, obviously. Pujols says, I only have that when I have explosive diarrhea, so don't fall. Arsenal is with their top rated comment, and they say, NTA, all hovering does is get piss on the seat for other people to have to deal with. You're checking that the seat is clean, you're fine. Your friends are weird and are the ones causing public toilets to be messy. Yes. It also goes everywhere. Like men who pee standing up, pee is going everywhere. Everywhere. Women who hover, pee is going everywhere. You're not doing anyone any favors by doing all this. Possible Holly says this, if you're sketched out, use those plastic toilet covers or some toilet paper to add a clean layer between you and the seat. For the love of lazy, stop hovering. Groupette says, if you don't use the paper covers, dispose of them properly. Don't just fling them on the floor or leave them on the seat. I can't stand these women who are so pure and fastidious that they have to use covers or apply layer after layer of toilet paper to the seat but are too sloppy to clean up after themselves. Yes. Ideally, it's supposed to take care of itself if you do it correctly. Don't hover. It's not good for your body. It's not good for anybody else. It's not good for anybody else because you're getting pee all over the seat. It's gross. Stop doing it. Next is Overheard, and it is entitled, I Will Follow You. Overheard dad talking to his two daughters in the queue at the supermarket. Youngest daughter, that man said the F word. Dad, grown-ups say the F word sometimes because they can't stop themselves from saying it. Youngest daughter, do you say the F word sometimes? Dad, to be honest, yes, I do. But only when I'm very upset or very happy. It depends. But kids should never say it. Youngest daughter, you say the F word when you're happy? Dad, so happy that I can't control what I say. Daughter, when are you that happy? Dad, when was the team I'm supporting wins a game? Older daughter, or when mom and dad made you, dad said the F word a lot and now he's paying for my therapy. Dad, don't listen to your sister. She's in a mood because the boy she likes unfollowed her youngest sister. I'll follow you. Faint allurement says that dad is raising some hilariously witty kids. Estrella Charm says the older daughter is savage and I love it. Chevelle Ham is the third type rate comment. They say something wholesome about this, despite the F bombs and slight lack of boundaries. I love it. Next is True Off My Chest, and it is a trigger warning and not safe for work. So be warned, you might want to skip this one. Sexual assault. It's entitled. They asked me if I moaned during my assault, and he was allowed to keep his student visa and graduate. 2 years ago, I was trapped and held bound by a man as he took my shirt off and pulled my pants down a bit. No matter how much I pushed away or said no, I felt like a wild animal attacking my neck and chest. It happened so quick, 1 second. I allowed him to give me a simple kiss. The next, I'm being thrown around like a rag doll and pinned like a criminal. I tried to get out of his room, but he pinned me to the door shut to keep me kissing me. And I got out after about 10 minutes of enduring assault, and it felt like it happened so quick. When I reported this to my school, I was asked if I moaned during the assault. Who cares? What's the difference? Because he didn't penetrate me, they didn't bring it to the school board. Well, then you should have. He kept his student visa and graduated the following semester. I developed a dependency on weed and had to go to my finals 8 hours after he did. I couldn't sleep for weeks unless I was high or holding something. I had to get an ESA. I lost part of my dignity until he got his master's. Educational Crew says PSA for anything that might unfortunately find themselves in a situation where they need to report a fellow student / coworker ever go to the school or workplace. Their job is not to protect you, but to protect themselves from bad press in case the news gets out. They have every incentive to bury and neglect the assault. Go to the police, or even better, go to a lawyer for help. The school will not give you justice. They never do. Somebody posted a deleted comment. It was deleted by the moderator. And somebody said they don't do anything when my stepdad raped me. They did absolutely nothing, even when I had proof. That's sad. Too many cops don't do their jobs. Alarming warning says in some countries, international student tuition doubles the national, so they want to keep that bag, I suppose. I hate this world. That's horrible. I'm so sorry that happened to you. The pain. I'm glad it wasn't worse than it was, but I'm also sorry that it happened at all. It's some people should not be allowed in public. Next is, what do I do? And it says, long-term friend bails on bill. Thankfully, there's only one page of texts. I'm just really confused as to what will happen to electricity. I'm annoyed ASF, and I don't mind that you want to do your own thing. I just feel like something should have been said maybe a few weeks ago, and I could have figured it out, or at least try. I don't know what you want me to say or do. Warren says he needs me there, and also I can't really afford to pay any bills anymore. He told me I don't have to worry about anything, and I trust him. OMG, but Mel, I literally could have been here these past months. You could have at least paid your half before leaving and saying, basically weighing me. My son is also here, like WTF. I don't have the money right now. Girl, you literally just posted on your notes that you had you had you just indecisive. Like, that's crazy as Wang. I don't know what all that means. So we've been living together for almost 4 months. She moved in to get me away from the same exact guy I mentioned in the message. Keep in mind, I only asked her to help with the light bill since she's been here. I take care of rent and water. Somehow they are randomly back together. She claimed not to have been talking to him. Although it's not my place, it's her life, and I just feel it's wrong to say wang me and leave me to pay her portion. My problem was that she knows I barely worked because of recent surgery, so I just expect her to at least have the decency to tell me, "Hey, I won't be able to help you with the electric this month. Do you have any other ways to take care of it?" I mean, at least a few weeks ahead of time, right? No, she packed all her things and will be leaving soon. The bill has to be paid today. So I'm just really annoyed with this entire situation. I mean, I don't think it's anything legally I can do, right? I'm just so annoyed right now. You can take her to small claims court. Also want to say that ex Warren had slid into my Instagram DM and I told her, and now all of a sudden they're back together. And she's so snobby now. Maybe we shouldn't have said anything. Big news. Biddies. One of our biddies just got a new job offer. More money, better hours. Yay. It's been a long time coming. It's been like a month, feels like. And that's what we do here. I just got a text message from him. That's how I know. Uh, Duke of Braintree says, chalk it up as a lesson and stop being friends with crappy people. OP says, okay. Yeah, sometimes it's what seems expensive is an actually very inexpensive life lesson. She's on her own now. You don't have to worry about her. Human Ka says, I have to say, I think this person is a user and you're more convenient and cheaper than I will tell while she and her ex work things out. Money Bill says, that was my first thought as well. Sounds like exactly how I acted in an active addiction. No money, no respect for people connected to me. Use them to get what I needed and burn them. That's sad. I hope you've made up for that, sir. The girl says, call the power company and see if they'll be willing to give you a pay late or break it up into a couple of payments, especially since you aren't working due to medical issues. The worst they can say is no. As far as your so-called friend, chalk it up to a good lesson. Don't move in with anyone, even family, without some sort of contract. OP says they're going to do that. So that's good. Next, we have Oh No Consequences. It is from Best of Render Updates, entitled, I fell in love with my married neighbor and then I babysat his kids. Now I'm questioning my feelings. We have read this one. We read this one a long, long time ago, so I'm going to skip it today. You go back and read that one. If you need to know when it was read, let me know and I'll find it. And this is mildly infuriating. Brand new TV, and this is how my wife insists we have the remote to keep it looking good. Divorce immediately. Divorce immediately. What's Rakuten? I don't know. No, that's a divorce. That's 100% an immediate divorce. Nobody should do that. That's weird. We're also not allowed to peel the protective film from the screen for the same reason. No, you have to peel this. You have to. Okay, I will admit my protective peel is still on my refrigerator, but it's starting to come off, so that may come off soon. It will eventually, it will start coming off. Plant says, is it looking good in the room with us? Avon Mustang says, right, it's not like it's preserving value or anything. That TV isn't going to get more valuable when you're done because you did this. Exactly. That's crazy. Second top rated comment is from Big Apple Guy. He says, it reminds me of people with couches covered with plastic covers. Yes. Florian, the link said, went out with a girl once whose mom had the sofas and all the remotes covered in plastic. Yeah, that looks so much better. Working Tomato answers, I found that crap infuriating. It's a piece of furniture. It's meant to be used, worn, and enjoyed. I had a couch for 20 some years. I got napped on, snuggled on, sat on for thousands of hours. It had so many great memories and great naps with pets on that couch. And while it looked pretty beat up by the time my wife and I retired it, it had served its purpose again and again and again. offering comfort and just a fine place to sit down, lay down, relax, long past the time most couches would have been retired. It's I'll take that over having some pristine ass landing strip that's never been placed in a, a place of comfort because it's covered in plastic. What an absolute waste of everyone's time and effort. That couch was where I snuggled with my family dog, rest in peace, little buddy. Had my first kiss, where I watched Star Wars for the first time. Comforted my wife when she lost her first patient, where she comforted me when 2 friends died in a single weekend, where countless friends crashed for the night after joyful evenings. That's what a couch is for. We still have the couch from when we first moved in our first house. It's in the basement. It's going to be retired soon, but we have to wait until after we replace it with a new one that will have lots of joyous memories because it's going to be in the um, movie room, the theater room. Next, we have Best of Editors updates and is entitled Notified my work weeks ago I'm leaving it for a family vacation in July. Tickets were bought, non-transferable, and they are panicking and begging me to cancel. Absolutely not. This was originally posted to Anti-Work. Original post was March 14, 2026. The whole situation is absurd, and I need a sanity check. I work in admin in a niche but important multinational industry. I know I am knowledgeable, reliable cog, and I pick up a lot of slack, as we are incredibly short-staffed with plans to add more, because it's working out fine for right now, blah, blah. My boss is going on vacation. She and I were comparing dates and realized they are lining up. She immediately told me I had to cancel. I told her I can't. Things are non-refundable since I'm a cog. I never considered my manager's schedule. That's not my job. She told me she could deny my PTO, and if I go, I would be released. Great. I go to her boss and said, let's make a plan. They say, okay, great. I build a schedule for task coverage, including him taking a few hours each day to sit at my desk and doing my personal job of fielding industry questions or taking their info, and I'd follow up later. I offer to log in paid for a couple of hours every day to help support. He says, cool, I'm present. I'll present this to the higher ups. My boss's boss told me that the higher ups think that he is too important, high paid to sit in a front admin office for any amount of time. Then the board comes up with a great idea. We'll offer to just reschedule my vacation. They offered a few $100 to cover scheduling fees. I calculated the fees and they are way more than a few $100s. Taking thousands as hotel, travel, transport, everything. I booked in advance just so I can just relax. Yes, I paid for advance for my vacations. That's what insurance is for. We do this because it's not just my life, but my partner's summer schedule and his 2 kids and their crazy schedules with sports, split custody, their bio moms, vacation plans, the whole thing. They asked me to cancel it and go some other time. I said a firm no. The kids are finally old enough to comfortably travel internationally. They are excited. I'm not telling them we can't go because work won't let me. I think my thing is I'm a cog. I should have double checked everyone's calendar before scheduling, sure, but I'm not a managing party. I haven't experienced something like this in my entire working life. I've previously notified upper management of my vacation at the beginning of the year, just like this, and they said, okay, thanks for letting us know. Why is my leaving for 7 working days, leaving the office such a panic? These are options to resolve this, like having someone from another department for a couple of days here, another for a couple of days, and I offered to support remotely. Also, my job vacation is scheduled for July. I tell you in February. No, you told them in February, and it's now July. And you tell them in February because you're setting everything up and paying for it. No, it's bull crap. Also, shouldn't this be a reasonable indicator of how short-staffed a department is if 2 people being out for any extended period of time throws a wrench in everything? Did I do something wrong? Is there something I'm not seeing? Any insight or advice would be amazing. Edited to add, I'm a woman. I gathered that. Relevant comments from No Albatross. It's March. July is 4 months away. They can pull their crap together and figure out a plan. Either this company is imploding or this post is rage bait. OOP says, unfortunately, it's very rare. The company is actually expanding, and 2 other personnel have left, but will not be replaced due to cost since they left. The department is no longer overstaffed. The president of the company is a tightwad and has successfully run with a skeleton crew for over 2 decades. It's the kind of person who would tell his employees' minions to make a grand idea happen. If he's questioned or told that it won't work because of X, he gets so angry that he's being asked to explain himself or take input from the people around him. It just makes him dig his heels in harder. Luckily, as a cog, I don't have to face the brunt of his ire, but my boss and boss's boss do, which is why my boss got so emotional when all this started. I would leave, but opportunities for this niche industry with my skill set and location are minimal. Also, I'm good at it. April 18, 2026. Interesting update to this saga. I need another sanity check. Summary. I notified my workplace in March that I would be going on vacation in July. Dates overlap with my bosses, who panicked and told me she would deny my leave and it would be a job abandonment. Cool. So some time has passed and upper management is absolutely begging me to reconsider, reschedule, cancel anything so that I'm here for the time our dates overlap. Overlapping time, 5 work days. They keep telling me that they have to consider the needs of the business and that they will pay for rescheduling fees in the thousands. They keep asking me to pull up or answer my personal calendar to cajole me to rescheduling and to coming back early to cover some of the time. They keep saying, but you know how busy it gets. Look at your metrics. Why can't the boss reschedule her vacation? Why is it on the employee? She's not the one that screwed up. The boss that approved it in the first place did. On top of this, we had 2 people leave the department in as many months, and we are being told no additional personnel will be hired. That's really stupid, especially if they're expanding. The reason no one is being hired because I have absorbed most of the workload. And see, it's fine. We don't need more people. Great. Thing is, I know how busy it gets. That's why I booked a family vacation the slowest time of the year and told y'all in March that I wouldn't be here. I wasn't asking. Right. PTO means prepare the others because I'll be gone. I feel like I'm going crazy with 6 people telling me I'm being unreasonable and flexible and putting them in a bad position. I even made a temporary schedule for other departments to cover my work for that time, again, 5 days, and was told it's not going to be considered because other departments are already short-staffed. Why is everyone so short-staffed? Why don't you hire some people? It just really is making me feel like all personnel issues are falling on me. The thing is, I'm looking at the job market right now, and it's bleak out there. Recession indicators waving red flags. Sure, I could get a new job, but not at my pay scale or in my field right away. I'm seriously considering making part of my family trip shorter so I can come back early. Don't do that. Do I hold strong or do I let them bully me into changing my vacation plans so I have job security? Seriously asking because I feel like I'm actually going crazy from the stress. Lady Bit says, take your vacation. They can't afford to fire you, honestly. What are they going to do? My Lady Bit says, take your vacation. Say out loud to them, if you can't do without me for 7 days, what would you do without me if you fire me? She says, I did. They told me I was a valuable employee, but ultimately replaceable. So, and should start looking for other work. May 17, 2026, final update. Final update, hopefully. I linked the post correctly. Thanks to all who commented or interacted with me on previous posts. All comments were read and considered and offered many perspectives I didn't consider, so thank you. In short, I notified my employer months in advance I was leaving for vacation. They needed coverage for 5 days, and they told me that if I went, I would not have a job when I returned. Cool. After some reflection and your encouraging comments, I decided to look for another job in the industry I worked in. It's pretty niche, so the major players know or have met each other. I reached out to a vendor of the company I currently work for, and they immediately offered me a position fully remote at the same pay scale. They said I can start now, later, whenever. They are stoked to have me on the team. They mentioned I have a great reputation and all of our vendor interactions have been positive. And because they were a vendor, they couldn't approach me, but they were happy I reached out to them. I'm over the moon. I made my current position at month's notice and am training my replacement over the next 2 weeks, taking a short break and then starting my new remote position. And I get to keep my vacation, no hassle. All in all, I'm really happy about how this all worked out. And I'm sure if I would have pursued anything new without my current position treating me so poorly. So honestly, kind of kind of have to thank them for opening my eyes. That's awesome. Good job. Final comments. Feel the Force Harry says, how did they react to you leaving? They can't cover you for 5 days. I would expect them to panic even more over replacing me. She says they were mostly resigned to make a counter offer, but I respectfully declined. They asked if I could stay an additional week and also declined that, saying I wanted to establish my new routine with my new company and then I wanted to focus on my growth there. I thank them for everything I learned while with them, and the opportunity to move on wouldn't have been possible without them, which is true. These last couple of weeks have been a mad scramble for them to get a replacement. And frankly, they are in for fun waking when they realize they are taking on the job of about 3 people. But this workload will be up to management to decide how to allocate. Not my problem anymore. Rough programmer quotes, on top of this, we had 2 people leave the department in as many months, and we were being told no additional personnel would be hired because she's absorbed the workload. They say, it's bad when companies' work is dependent on one person barely holding it all together. I winging hate this crap. I see it all the time, and there's a long line of customers at a store or a fast food restaurant, like 1 to 3 tills available. Nevertheless, good on OLP for sticking to their guns and recognizing that the situation with the company was untenable. She says she quoted the part about her thanking them. This part is very satisfying to leave. I love when someone has the opportunity to pass on these sorts of comebacks. The ones that are kind on the surface, but belie starker truth. Glass is not glasses. Boss is now being pressured to cancel their vacation. I bet. Desperate Chip says this should have been the first step. Exactly. Exactly. Second top right comment is from Friend to Predators. Why would you be a friend to a predator? Never do management's work for them. It lets management survive despite increasing dysfunction. Stop thinking it's me is the third top right comment, and she says, you can't take 5 days off because you're too important. Well, if you do, we'll fire you because you're not that important. Tyre Connell says they played chicken. We need you, but we need you less than you need this job, and it's in this rough job market. But they're not. But they were wrong. I'm glad she realized it. I'm glad she got another job. I'm happy for her. We have another dog. We have another doggy for made me smile. Several doggies, actually. I put a German Shepherd in charge of a baby. In charge of babysitting a group of friends. I put a German Shepherd in charge of babysitting a bunch of Dobermans. See how it goes. That one's a little shy. There's so many of them. That's so adorable. I love it. She's out running them. She's getting her exercise today. Babysitter's getting her exercise. Oh, there's 2 dogs. There's 2. Wait. There was another German Shepherd over there. That's all I got for today. Have a good day. Love you all. I'll see you on Tuesday. Yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye, biddies. Love you all. Bye.